Did somebody say road trip? That's right. ESPN West Palm is going on the road to the Orange Bowl for Notre Dame versus Penn State. That's today, 2 to 6 p.m. Don't miss Theoretically Speaking and Russo and Rizzo. They're live on ESPN 106.3.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
Good Greek moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
Join us on Saturday, January 11th from 7 a.m. to noon for a free lithium battery collection and document shredding event in Delray Beach. Lithium batteries that are disposed of irresponsibly are a fire hazard. These items should never be put into the garbage or recycling bins. The Solid Waste Authority of Palm Beach County is providing you this opportunity to drop them off and bring up to 6 boxes of documents to be shredded on site. Do your part, and a fire won't start. Learn more at swa.org/LIB.
Improve your golf game fast at the all-new Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center. The Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center has the facilities, tools, and coaching you need. Enjoy the best facilities in the area with an expansive chipping and putting area, practice bunkers, a huge putting green, plus a 2,000 square foot indoor training area with 3 hitting bays, cutting-edge analysis technology, and more. The Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center in the heart of Palm Beach County off I-95 and the Turnpike. Find out more at KaiserGolfCenter.com.
Hey, you! It's me, Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike with Canty and Michelle. That's all. Just wanted to say hi. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye!
F45 Training West Palm Beach offers functional group fitness classes reimagined. Sign up for F45 today and visit their West Palm Beach location. Featuring high-intensity group workouts that are fast, fun, and results-driven, F45 always has the right workout for you. Not to mention, it takes just 45 minutes. Visit F45training.com today to find a studio near you and officially join the F45 Training family. F45, team training, life-changing.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 106.3.
WUUB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Good people. We are live from the Orange Bowl, and we're going to have a great time. Hit the open, Damien.
Live from
this is
the
how we do the show. Every day you have
Accident Attorney Studios.
The man your man could smell.
Theo Dorsey is Theoretically Speaking.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
Streaming live on YouTube.
You're gonna break up with me because of what I do on the radio?
Here's Theo Dorsey.
This time for real. Good people. Live from the 2025 Capital One Orange Bowl, the semifinal in the 12-team playoffs. Yes, the very first one. We've got 2 teams about to face off here, kicking off at 7:30 between Penn State and Notre Dame, 2 huge college football brands. And when you bring out the big brands, the big bands, and a big-time football game, well, you also got to bring out Theoretically Speaking. This your boy Theo Dorsey. That's Christian Cat. And he already has told me he's all in on Penn State winning this football game. He's got the Nittany Lions hat on. Like, you rock. You locked and loaded.
I woke up today blessed to be a Penn State fan, Theo Dorsey. I woke up today ready to devour the Irishman. I woke up ready to dominate Hard Rock Stadium and take over Hard Rock Stadium. It's going to be a whiteout. We are Penn State.
Yes.
Didn't reply. One more time.
Yeah.
We are. Thank you. They're not mic'd up.
They're not mic'd up, so you probably didn't hear them on radio. But 4 Penn State fans here celebrating with C-Cat, who is, again, a Penn State alumnus. And you have buddies coming in town. You have your girlfriend here. She's Penn Stated out. We have hats. So here's the thing. If you're in Palm Beach County right now, you still have time to make your way out here to the Fan Fest tailgate. If you're around South Florida in general and you plan on coming to the Capital One Orange Bowl, come early because we do have, again, annually, the Capital One Orange Bowl Fan Fest, which I'll be hosting. DJ Stryker will be on the ones and twos for that. That starts in about 30 minutes, so I'll have to jump off the show early, and we'll have our guy Colin Russo jump in here with CCAT. We got a lot of guests lined up today, too, so it's going to be fun. But if you do come early, you got an opportunity to win a free hat over here at the Fan Fest, which you can get a Notre Dame or Penn State emblem sewn onto. I just got done doing the U.S. Army's flight simulator for a helicopter. Crashed it twice.
Whoa!
Crashed it twice.
Let down your troops
in about 7 minutes. Didn't let down my troops. I was piloting on my own. I did cost the Army a lot of money. So that defense budget, yeah. I know we're having a change of office here soon. The defense budget is going to be a little shorted for our guy DJT. Sorry about that ahead of time. But what I will say is too, you got all kind of other activations, foods, drinks. They got it's like a drill system over here, like a football drills lineup here for Capital One.
Yeah, like you play the mini games in Madden when you're training your player that you make in the training facility. That's what they have here, right in the Capital One Fan Fest.
If you had to put your money on, and again, we're going to talk about this game, Penn State, Notre Dame, because we have to decide which side of it we're going to be on for our punchline picks. A lot weighing on this week. If you had to put your money on out of our show host and everybody we have here, who does the best in the mini drills? Who you going with?
I'm wearing jeans, so that really stinks.
We're all
I'm kind
in
of on the shelf.
Or
Colin's got stretchier pants than me. So
out of all the things you've ever said on radio, that has to be the most ridiculous. Colin's got stretchier pants than me.
Yeah, that's true. He does. So he's going to have an increased advantage when he's weaving in and out of the tackling drills. So I'm off the table, unfortunately. State runner-up Christian Cat off the table.
State runner-up.
Started more games than I sat my junior year of college. My senior year of college. Outside linebacker, scout team hero. I'm off the table, so I would probably have to say Colin Russo, who just has the age advantage on Theo. You're over the hill.
You also, we'll address that. We'll address the I'm over the hill comment. You also evaded the pull-ups. The pull-ups that we had. Tina Espresso Martina is going to pull up with us here soon. She got a couple of them in. Colin Russo jumped in and got 6.5 at least. I might have counted 7. He's holding the record right now.
Sorry, I couldn't do the karaoke machine, too.
Yeah.
Listen, I have a job to do.
Right,
I can't sparkle and play and shake hands and kiss babies.
Yeah.
There has to be wires plugged in, internet connected, and we've got to get on the airwaves, so sue me.
Well, also a person that had a job to do and decided to just quit out on it early, Tyreek Hill. We just got word from Drew Rosenhaus via the Pat McAfee show, literally like about, 300 feet away from where we're sitting right now inside of the Hard Rock Stadium where they're setting up and doing the Pat McAfee show. We just got word from his agent himself that, Tyreek Hill met with Dolphins brass, with Chris Greer, with Mike McDaniel. He sat down. They had a heart-to-heart, a man-to-man, and he does want to stay in South Florida. It doesn't look good, though. Have you seen that video that just came out where we saw the moment that in the third quarter, Jalen Waddle actually asked Tyreek Hill if he was going to, play anymore?
He looked shocked.
Yeah.
He was like, really? You're going to do that?
Cheetah, you out? That's crazy. In the middle of a football game, we're talking about the National Football League. We're talking about Week 18 in the game, whereas if you win it and something else does happen, you need another team to lose, you're in the playoffs. And I get he had the wrist injury. And what Rosenhaus told McAfee and the fellas is that he injured his wrist early on this year, and he's played through it because he didn't want to miss the season. I believe he said it was even in the preseason, so I get it. He's a warrior. He wants to get out there. He wants to fight with his guys.
He's got a snap streak that he wants to keep alive.
He's got a snap streak. Exactly. You get it. You're a Josh Allen guy. He's got to keep that thing going. But you can't do that and then also afterwards in the locker room say what he said and expect us not to raise red flags. I don't care if you're Drew Rosenhaus representing Tyreek Hill or the Cheetah himself. He put himself in that position not just with his actions on the field by quitting on his team early, but also by ranting like that in the locker room, acting as if it was somebody else's fault.
Yeah, exactly. You can't – listen, if there were reports of him taking him out of the game and he declined to comment on it, just didn't give anything to the media afterwards, post-game, then there's plausible deniability. Who are we to look inside of Tyreek Hill's head? But you admitted it to the media immediately after the game that I'm too competitive to be losing these games. I'm out, bruh. Like
he said, I'm out.
He said, I'm out.
I'm too competitive, as if you are not part of the situation, as if you're not part of the problem at all. And I'm not saying he is, but I'm saying if you're a man in that locker room, one of 53, you can't separate yourself from it, especially if you're the highest paid person in that room. And again, Tyreek Hill's agent, Drew Rosenhaus, just told the Pat McAfee show that he broke his wrist during a joint practice during training camp. And now there's people like trying to bring up the incident also of, remember week 1 outside of here right at Hard Rock Stadium when he was arrested and thrown on the ground, and he might have re-aggravated that wrist injury via that whole incident. So all of this is bananas, but none of this is surprising when it comes to the character that is Tyreek Hill. As great as he's been on the football field, not just for the Miami Dolphins, but for the Kansas City Chiefs beforehand, he's never come without controversy. You get the good with the bad with that guy.
Yeah, you certainly do. And it's funny because you can always bring up, like we have in the past, and many people have in the past, saying the phrase, I'm too competitive.
Oh,
he took
man.
the most money possible to leave the best situation possible.
Yeah.
That is point blank simple. There was not a better situation for any receiver in all of football than to be the wide receiver one of the Kansas City Chiefs when Patrick Mahomes just started his second contract.
Yeah, yeah.
Simple as that.
And you could have, if you were smarter about the holistic picture, and I think that it was a two-pronged play for Tyreek Hill, now that we especially have more of the picture of what he is and who he wants to be as a man, not just a football player. I think part of it is he wanted to live in South Florida, right? I think part of it is he wanted to be in Miami, not just get paid at a high level, but also be able to enjoy the ambiance and the things that are allotted to you when you're in Miami and you're a superstar versus when you're in Kansas City and you're not the biggest personality in the room, right?
Yeah,
he's the most famous Dolphin right now.
East Coast LA, right? You know, the allures that bring athletes to Los Angeles, the stardom and all that. You bring that to the East Coast and you have Miami.
Same reason why Miami superstar Jimmy Butler, who wants out from the Heat, was like, well, I ain't going to Memphis. He said, well, I really want to be in a competitive situation. I know that they're one of the top teams in the West. They can really use a forward like myself. They got some dogs in that locker room. Jimmy Butler on the Grizzlies would be immediately a top 2, top 3 title contender in the NBA. He said, I ain't going to Memphis. I also ain't going to Milwaukee. There's a commonality between those two cities, and there's also a commonality between where Jimmy Butler is in Miami and the places he wants to go, like Golden State and Phoenix. It's just different.
Yeah, it is different. It's interesting. I wonder if the actual geographic location and market and the lifestyle becomes more important the older you get as a superstar athlete, or does it not because you mature more? Or maybe because you mature more, you kind of realize that winning isn't everything, and being able to wake up by the beach is also pretty nice, and not have to wake up and you're in the middle of Cleveland. Because it seems like an immature thing to want to be like, I want to be a star in Hollywood. I'm 21 years old, and send me to L.A.
Right.
That seems like a young thing to do, but no, we're seeing that it's actually an older head thing to do these days in pro sports.
Your priorities change in life. Your priorities change in life based on, for one, your situation, right? Are you a family man now? Do you have kids that are in schools that you want to keep them in? But number two, you're right. How much do you prioritize the career success versus the comfortability of your own lifestyle? And you're seeing guys in real time, especially as the money is ballooning in these major sports, in the NBA, in the NFL. If you know that you're going to get paid handsomely no matter where you go and you've already made a name for yourself in that sport, I don't understand why you wouldn't pick out where you want to be. It's almost like even in this industry, I'm sure there's a lot of people that are like, I would take that job. I would go to ESPN National, but that means I got to be in Bristol. How about Fox Sports in LA? How about ESPN in LA? Like it makes sense.
Yeah, you settle.
Yeah,
and
you
it's
settle.
Sometimes the career takes a backseat to the life.
Location, you shouldn't. I don't want to demean anybody for prioritizing location, but if you're a guy like Tyreek Hill, again, if you're gonna prioritize location, don't act as if you're also prioritizing competitiveness. Same thing with Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, it's a shield. Like, I want to win. Like, oh, cool. Wow, competitive fire, impressive, all that. Guy's a winner. Guy can't handle losing.
Yeah.
I want him on my team. It's not that. It's a complete sham.
With the newfound news around Tyreek Hill and his broken wrist and his willingness to want to stay in Miami, and also knowing what we know about Jimmy Butler, who is most likely to be traded in 2025. They both probably had it on their vision boards when they had their vision board parties for the end of the year and they were getting ready for the new year. They were like, putting up destinations you want to go to. Jimmy had a picture of Steph Curry and Kevin Durant, whereas Tyreek Hill, he likely, ain't no telling what he had a picture of. He needs to have a picture of I'm not going to say, maybe some birth control. But what I will say for both of them is they want out. Tyreek Hill just said through his agent that he still wants to be here. I wonder if it's a leverage play. Who's most likely to be traded out of Miami? Which one of the two superstars from South Florida is most likely to call a new destination home in 2025? Hit us up on the Baptist Health hotline right here. Even from the Capital One Orange Bowl, you can tap into Theoretically Speaking if you hop on that Baptist Health hotline. 888-760-3776. Again, that number is 888-760-3776. The Baptist Health hotline. Is joint pain affecting your quality of life? At Baptist Health Orthopedic Care, our team is experienced in traditional joint replacement surgery as well as new, less invasive treatments with the goal of returning you to what you love as quickly as possible. Learn more by visiting baptisthealth.net/ortho today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care combines its resources of experienced physicians and leading-edge treatments and technology to provide advanced orthopedic, foot and ankle, joint replacement, spine, and sports medicine care. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho for more information today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has offices located in Palm Beach County right on through the Florida Keys. Learn more by visiting baptisthealth.net/ortho. 888-760-3776. Tap in with us here at the Capital One Orange Bowl as we cruise into what is going to be an epic semifinal right here in, I guess I always want to say Miami, but it's not technically. It's Miami Gardens at Hard Rock Stadium. How many of your buddies here are actually coming down, man, from Nittany Lions Nation?
So we got a problem here, man.
Uh-oh.
Because I love the Capital One Orange Bowl. I love Hard Rock Stadium. I hate Miami Gardens.
Yeah.
The area surrounding this stadium makes it so difficult to hang out for the day.
It's rough.
I had to drop them off in Aventura Mall. You know what that meaning that is? They got to take an Uber across 25 minutes to get here afterwards because, simply put, there's nothing to do around these awesome festivities that open up at 2:30.
Yeah.
Had to get here super early to set all the equipment up so they couldn't come with me to work.
Yeah.
They wanted to start drinking. They wanted to have a good time. And the party gets started here at 2:30, but there's no downtown area to hang out outside of our awesome fan fest.
Well, now you see what Miami Hurricanes fans have felt since they left the Orange Bowl and have been right here, and why it's been such a crippling factor when it comes to students being ultra invested and wanting to come to games as often, as well as, honestly, the fact that it's just that far from where Coral Gables is in the campus. I'm curious, though, how was last night? Did y'all actually do the airport straight to the bar move?
Yeah.
And then y'all stayed out until when?
We painted the town red.
Well, that would be opposite. You should be painting it white, right, for Penn State?
Good point.
Yeah.
Went straight from post-production to the airport, picked up my pal Adric, went back to work where I could park my car, walk up to Clematis, went to a couple of bars, got some food, got some drinks in us, and then we also got DD'd over to the airport again to pick up another friend and then going straight home after that.
So it's 4 of y'all?
No. So it is, me and 2 friends.
Okay, 3 of y'all. Okay, so I'm curious to you then, have y'all, had the conversation of, we win this game, we're going to the national championship, let's make that trip too? Or are y'all trying to, not jinx it? Because you're trying to gear me up to pick Penn State in punchline picks right now, and I'm trying to gauge where y'all's confidence level is.
Confidence pretty high.
Yeah?
Confidence pretty high. One of my friends is actually flying out tomorrow afternoon, not staying the full weekend, to save money for a national championship trip to Atlanta on January 20th.
Okay.
So we are ready for that trip to Atlanta for the national championship. I already look at plane tickets. They are exceptionally cheap for a national championship. The tickets to the game, however, that's where you're spending your money. The Airbnbs, the hotels. When you split that with 3 or 4 people, that becomes very, very affordable. But the tickets into the game are expensive, so maybe credential.
Yeah, maybe we see what happens there on your end. I'll be rooting for you for that. Here's the question. All right, we're down how many in punchline picks? And again, if you don't know what punchline picks is, theoretically speaking, facing off against Russo and Rizzo, the prize is to watch the losing team have to do stand-up comedy right here in Palm Beach County. We'll be promoting the event. Yes, fans, you'll be able to get in. A select few, though, a select few, because we have a lot of people. Teammates have been banging down the door trying to figure out what day this is going to be, and they want to be able to pack out the arena as well. So we'll be promoting the event when it comes. But, again, we're picking football games against the spread. We've been doing it all football season. The losing team has to do stand-up. We're down 4 or 5?
We're down 4. We entered last week down 1, took a bunch of losses. And not to point any blame, it hasn't been my fault.
Yes. Okay, so you are pointing blame.
I'm just not pointing blame at myself.
I'm not pointing blame on myself either, so I guess somebody else has to take the credit.
We're actually really good guys. We're not pushing blame anywhere.
No, we would never blame anybody.
I would never blame myself.
Yeah.
You would never blame yourself.
Yeah.
So it's a blameless situation.
Blameless.
It's just how the chips have fallen.
We're down 4. That's
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is we're down 4, and how much time do we have? How many more weeks do we have to make up ground?
We've got 2 weeks. We have 8 picks.
So
4 picks each week.
4 picks each week over these next 2 weeks, and that means a total of how many points are still available?
10.
10 points are available. We're down by 4. So we got to really make a good swing, because we could have a great week, right? We could go 8-2, but we need them to also have a losing week.
Yeah.
Do you think our strategy should be more focused on us making wise, smart picks ahead of time, or do we need to be fading them at some point, especially the second week? The second week has to be a heavy fade week if we don't make up ground this week.
So we altered the rules a little bit for these playoff weeks because we have a significantly smaller board to choose from, with NFL games being shrunken down to just 6.
Okay.
So we can take over-unders. So we don't have to fade in order to score. We could take over and unders, but down by 4, I think you have a great point there where we need them to lose anyway.
Yeah, we only win if they lose at a certain point. So I do think we lock this game. I do think we lock this game only because we need to have some certainty about what our strategy will be going forward. I think that's a smart play. I would rather either make up 2 games here or get set back 2 games here early and know what we have to work with.
Great point. I don't want to be stuck taking a Monday night playoff game that I don't want to.
No.
In a way I don't want to.
No.
I think we lock the Penn State Nittany Lions. The line has moved to a pick 'em, so that's okay. We don't need the extra 2 points.
Yeah.
We need the Penn State Nittany Lions to win this game outright. I don't care if they go into the Carnival game triple overtime. Penn State's going to win tonight, and it is going to be a party in Miami Gardens.
See, Colin Russo's right here. I need a live reaction. Can we get a live reaction from Colin on this? If you can just come right here. You pop the headset on here. Colin, who's going to be Russo and Rizzo from 4 to 6. He's actually going to jump on early on Theoretically Speaking when I jump on the stage here for FanFest Tailgate. CCAT has convinced me. Are you nervous at all about the fact that we are now going to lock the Nittany Lions in now in the pick'em? We're on Penn State.
I don't like that.
Could have taken it yesterday +2, but I didn't.
They call that an emotional bet.
Yeah.
They call that you're here, you're in the moment.
Yeah.
That's the type of game. Your heart is in it, not your brain.
So much so, for sure. For him, it is.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell is about to happen.
You just said that Christian.
He wants to. It's his lock. The keys are in his hand, so he gets to choose it. And I'm confident in his pick here because he knows more about this team than anybody here at this station, and he's confident. Him and his boys are confident.
Are you that confident?
Yeah.
I am extremely confident, not because of my team, but because of how Penn State has just not played a boogeyman yet. They haven't played an SEC team, and they have not played one of
Ohio State.
Oregon, Ohio State, or Michigan in these big games. Haven't beaten a boogeyman
They haven't
yet.
beaten them. So you're
they
saying
haven't had to face one.
So is this the first boogeyman that you think in the history of Penn State in the past decade or so? Is Notre Dame not a boogeyman?
We talked about it yesterday.
all,
Penn
no.
State really hasn't had that marquee victory in probably the closer part of 10 years.
The inception of the whiteout came because of Notre Dame.
Yeah. Oh, so this is
It's the first official whiteout, 2007 punt return for a touchdown. The loudest a lot of Penn State fans say the stadium has ever been. Penn State is not afraid of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Penn State is afraid of Ohio State. Penn State is now afraid of Oregon. Penn State would probably be afraid of the top dog out of the SEC. Maybe not Texas. I don't know. They would be afraid of Georgia. If Georgia was playing in this game, I wouldn't have locked Penn State.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much.
So with that being said, though, you can see how I would start to feel the vibes here. I actually like the pick because he's right. And also, Notre Dame doesn't scare me that much.
My gut tells me that Penn State's going to play well in the game. What is the line here?
It is now a pick 'em.
Now.
It's a pick 'em.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's kind of hard to. And then what Penn State was just there were dogs last night.
Yeah, there were 2-point dogs, 1.5 dogs to Notre Dame.
So that means the money's going to Penn State.
Uh-huh.
And
including ours.
I think Penn State's going to play well. I think they have an advantage at the quarterback position. They have an advantage probably in that defensive front seven.
Yeah.
And they probably have a little bit more speed. But Notre Dame, you know what Penn State's problem is that I think could come up tonight? And this is the classic James Franklin. Watch him get too cute in a big spot, trying to do a trick play, going for it on 4th down when he shouldn't. James Franklin can sometimes get out of the bag of tricks, and the word is get too cute. And Notre Dame's not going to do that. Notre Dame will play it straight up 4 quarters, and however it's going to come down, it's going to come down. Penn State, I can see them trying to get cute at their own 50 in the first half, trying to get some points on the board, and basically giving Notre Dame a touchdown. I can see that.
Marcus Freeman looks good.
I am confident in every phase of Penn State's game except for the head coaching position. The in-game coaching.
Situational risk-taking is not James Franklin's forte.
Because he hasn't had to really do that yet
Either
in this
they dominate
run.
Or they get dominated.
Exactly, and a very puzzling going forward on 4th down when up 14 over SMU on your own 18-yard line.
Right.
Weird decisions like that haven't come back to hurt Penn State because they played SMU and Boise State. We just saw Notre Dame out-coach Georgia.
Yeah.
We saw several instances in that game where Marcus Freeman was better than Kirby Smart in that game. I think the one decisive advantage in this game where I almost don't hear an argument from the other side is Marcus Freeman over James Franklin.
So game coaching is favors Notre Dame quite a bit. But I think talent-wise, I think Penn State probably has a bit of an edge. Notre Dame probably has a slightly better running game, probably a little better on offensive line.
It's Penn State's strength, though,
But Penn State has a quarterback that I think could be at least from what I've seen, Aller looks like a pro right now.
He's an NFL guy.
He's playing like an NFL player.
He could walk out of the stadium today with a ticket to the draft. That's what we'll see. If he puts on a good display tonight, Drew Aller will not be at Penn State.
And they have Tyler Warren, who's probably the best non-quarterback offensive player on the field.
Yeah.
So off of that, I think that nod to talent will make a difference. Notre Dame probably has a better defense, and Notre Dame turns the ball over.
Yeah.
Penn State, of course, prides themselves in being a team that protects the football. But if Notre Dame wants to wreak havoc, Georgia turns the ball over a ton. So they just walked into a trap with that. They walked into a hornet's nest. Penn State doesn't.
Yeah.
But if they get out off schedule, then I think Penn State will struggle. If they could go strict to what they're supposed to do, I think it probably favors Penn State. The less mistakes that Penn State makes, the better off they are.
That's I like. The more I've heard you talk, I'm comfortable with the lock on Penn State. I also have a play that I want to make at our favorite place to make money, and that is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. I'm talking about Prize Picks. And I appreciate you, Kyle. I know you got things to do. You setting up. You were having fun. I want people to have fun as well tonight when they watch the Capital One Orange Bowl. I want them to be able to tap in and win some money on the game. Download Prize Picks right now, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Use my promo code, THEOD. You use that promo code, you get $50 free once you play a $5 lineup. Well, what's a lineup, Theo? Glad you asked. Let's take it right to this game that we're sitting at right here, right?
Yeah.
Drew Aller is his stat projection right here on Prize Picks is set at 185.5 passing yards. Now, I will say, C-Cat, he's only hit this 2 out of the last 5 games. He was much less than it versus SMU and Boise State.
Hey, but think about it. They don't need to throw the football against SMU and Boise State when they're up 2 possessions in the second half.
No.
So why would Drew Aller have to throw the football there? Notre Dame's better.
I'm going more for that. And specifically, Russo just brought it up. You backed him on it. Tyler Warren, his receiving yards player projection is at 66.5 yards. He hit that 3 out of the last 5, but the last 2 he's been under it. He was less. And again, that was against Boise State and SMU where they didn't have to go to him. I think this guy can get well over 100. He can get up to 100 yards today, especially as much as they're going to lean on him. The national championship is on the line. They're not holding anything back. Do you feel good about Tyler Warren more than 66.5?
I don't.
You don't?
I'll be honest.
Wow.
I do not. I think this is going to be a run the football and maybe 1 or 2 pop passes, chunk plays that aren't to Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren's good for those 20 to 30-yard receptions.
Okay.
But I think Penn State's going to take the top off the defense after pounding the run game with Singleton and Allen.
I'll do this then. 22.5 is his longest reception. I'll punch more on that. It's as simple as that. That's how you build a stat-based lineup. You can do between 2 and 6. You can win up to 200 times your money. Prize Picks is the place to be. America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Use promo code THEOD. Just those picks alone, if I submit $10, wins me $25. I add more players to it. It can continue to multiply. Jump in, run your game with Prize Picks. It is a ton of fun. We do got to go to break here. On the other side, my guy, Jonathan Zaslow from Zaslow Show 2.0 and ESPN Radio's College Football Tailgate. He's pulling up, and what a day to have him on the show, because this right here is the semifinal. It's what we've all been waiting on. Final Four. What you thought I was going to say, the Soulja Boy song?
Yes, Pretty Boy Swag.
Yeah. You knew that song? Were they playing that back at Penn State?
One of my friends, no, it was back in high school, middle school.
Oh,
Listen, again, I'm a little bit younger than you.
Okay.
Gray hairs, kind of
obviously.
slow
Well,
at the Capital One training zone.
Right, okay.
My friend Chris Matos, Chester Academy alum, had a video on YouTube when he was, I think, 9 years old, singing along to Pretty Boy Swag, and it's still up, so we always throw it into the group chat from time to time.
Okay. I love a good Pretty Boy Swag. It's a good song to groove to, and it also is a good. You know, we don't have enough of those, right? I'm feeling myself, I look good, song for guys. The ladies have them all.
Damien, can we bump back with that song, the instrumental, some Pretty Boy Swag?
Let's bump back with Pretty Boy Swag as we bring in Jonathan Zaslow, who exemplifies Pretty Boy Swag. That's CCAT. I'm Theo Dorsey. We're live from the Fan Fest tailgate here at the Capital One Orange Bowl on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Hi, it's Luis Fonsi. In the world of music, versatility allows you to capture the moment and create something amazing. Ford SUVs are designed with the same versatility in mind. The Ford Escape or Explorer can make any day a beach day with room for family and all your gear. And the Ford Bronco or Bronco Sport give you the freedom to go over, around, or through almost anything that comes your way. Ford SUVs, perfect for South Florida. See your local Ford dealer today.
Hey golf fans, Colin Russo here. Looking to improve your game? Flagstick Golf Performance, the ultimate indoor golf experience, is now open in Boynton Beach. With 3 indoor simulators and a state-of-the-art putting studio, Flagstick helps players at all levels up their game. Get lessons from experts, try the latest clubs, or just come up for a round in the simulators. You can track your stats and see real improvement. Flagstick is where serious golfers and beginners find their edge. Bring your friends or family and enjoy golf like never before. Visit flagstickgolfperformance.com to book your session.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen, and you know what time it is. It's game time tonight. The college football playoffs continue from Hard Rock Stadium and Miami Gardens. It's the 2025 Orange Bowl, Penn State and Notre Dame. Pre-game coverage begins at 7:30. It's game time. Tick-tock.
The South Florida Fair is almost here. Buy your advance tickets now and you can save up to 50%. Plus, if you use your discount admission ticket on opening day of the fair, you can keep it and visit the fair another day courtesy of Publix. That's 2 days of fun for the price of one.
South Florida Fair discount tickets are on sale now at Publix and online at southfloridafair.com. Fair opens January 17 in West Palm Beach.
Is racking up tens of thousands of dollars in student loan debt really worth the 4-year degree? Not a lot of people think so anymore. A recent Wall Street Journal poll found that 56% of us believe that a skills-based education, that's a smarter investment than a 4-year degree. So why waste that time and money when there's an alternative right here in North Palm Beach that teaches the skills that people can actually use in today's world, and you can get those skills in just months, not years. I'm talking about CSB Media Arts Center, the home of Connecticut School of Broadcasting, which provides hands-on training in audio and video production, podcasting, sports broadcasting, social media marketing, filmmaking, coding, and so much more. For over 60 years, CSB has placed thousands of graduates in careers. Take a moment and visit GoCSB.com to schedule a tour. That's GoCSB.com.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
Banyan Printing, your trusted printing, mailing, and signage partner in the Palm Beaches for over 45 years. Banyan Printing's new metallic ink press adds that extra shine so that your product comes out in glossy gold, sparkling silver, or any other color you want to shine. Banyan Printing is the official printer of Kaiser Athletics and would love to be your official printing partner as well. Order products and learn more about what Banyan Printing can do for your business at banyanonline.com or call 561-586-6220.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
Gotta love it. Now leave that playing, Damien. Let that thing ride. From the Capital One Orange Bowl, it is Theo Dorsey. It is C-Cat. We're about to bring in my guy, Jonathan Zaslow, but not before I let that beat ride a little bit longer. And also, before I tell you about Baptist Health Orthopedic Care, are you experiencing foot and ankle pain and need to see an expert in the field? Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has a team of foot and ankle orthopedic surgeons and specialists who are regarded as leaders in their specialty. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho to learn more today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care combines its resources of experienced physicians and leading-edge treatments and technology to provide advanced orthopedic, spine, and sports medicine, foot and ankle joint replacement, and medicine care. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho for more information today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has offices conveniently located in Palm Beach County through the Florida Keys. Learn more by visiting baptisthealth.net/ortho. And on the Baptist Health Hotline is our guy, Jonathan Zaslow, who specifically requested we play Soulja Boy's Pretty Boy swag
right.
as he enters.
That's my walk-up music. That's my theme song. When I walk into a room, everybody expects to hear Soulja Boy. They turn around like, oh, Zaslow's here. Soulja Boy.
I got to love it, man. Hey,
we're on that Wikipedia page. Yeah. It's going to say Cooper City Rattlesnake and just known for Pretty Boy swag.
Known for Pretty Boy swag.
Right.
You supposed to be at the Capital One Orange Bowl with us, Zaz? Where you at these days?
No, I mean, look, why would ESPN Radio send me to the Capital One Orange Bowl, which is only 15 minutes from the Zaslow Mansion, when they could send me to Arlington, Texas, which is where I am right now, with a snowstorm, all right? Shutting the roads down, the highways are shut down. They don't know how to deal with the weather here, apparently. And not that I don't know how to deal with the weather. I looked outside this morning, I'm like, this is a lot of snow. But they clearly don't know how to deal with the weather here. Let's get a grip, all right? It's not that bad.
Now, Zaz, I'm from Houston, proud Texas native, and I can affirm you, yes, when anything sweeps in that sub 40 or any kind of snow or ice, everything shuts down. Everything shuts down. And you shouldn't be talking like that as a South Florida native. It would do the same out here.
Yeah. We're doing the show inside here. I'm coming up at 3 p.m. Eastern. That's 3 p.m. your time. It's 2 p.m. my time. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of the way time zones work, but because I'm behind you guys, so no spoilers. Don't tell me if anything fun happens over the next hour. But I'm coming up 3 to 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio with my girl Amber Wilson. So we're out here for the Cotton Bowl. We're leading you up to the Orange Bowl, which coverage, of course, is on ESPN Radio. And then tomorrow we're right outside AT&T Stadium, and we're going to be at the game.
Gotta love it. Penn State, Notre Dame getting ready to battle for a spot in the national championship game. I'm going to ask you some very serious, intense questions about this game.
It's the only questions I'm here for. I don't do the softball questions.
No. But first I have a question that is, just off the beaten path. Had a conversation with my dad yesterday. He revealed to me he didn't know. I've heard around from other people on Twitter and Sports Talk Radio. They also weren't aware. I got to be honest with you, Zaz, and I told C-Cat this, and he made fun of me for it. When I started seeing the stories that no matter what happens in the Orange Bowl, for the very first time, a black coach is going to be in the national championship game, I was like, wait, James Franklin's black? Did you know that?
Oh, really?
Did you know that before this week? I had no clue.
Well, the first thing I saw, I think you're a little bit more qualified to speak on this topic than I am. Let's be perfectly honest here. But I was aware that James Franklin.
Okay, you were aware. All right.
Yeah, I think his mother is white and is British.
Yes.
I think that's what's going on there, right?
So I have since done my research. I've saw some throwback pictures of James Franklin, and I see it more. But even when I'm just, again, I thought that Drew Aller was the only one for Penn State passing, and my guy James Franklin took it to a new level. And some people will get that back home.
I'll tell you what, though. Like, I saw that also where it's like, okay, you know, Marcus Freeman, James Franklin, we're going to get a black head coach in the national championship. Like, you know, we talk about it in pro sports, certainly the NFL, minority coaches, black coaches getting their opportunities, and it's like, yeah, we don't see that at all at the college level. You're going to have a black head coach in the national championship.
And that's another thing that resonated with me as well. Not only did I learn James Franklin was black, I also was like, wait a second, and then I went through the Rolodex and I'm like, yeah, there's actually not a lot of prominent black head coaches in college football, especially over my lifetime. So that's going to be historic. That's going to be great. What's your feel on the Orange Bowl right here? C-Cat, the Penn State alum, and of course Nittany Lion fan, he has us locking Penn State to win in a pick'em for our Punchline Picks contest.
Wow. Wow. Well, listen, I'm not going to give my pick here because everybody knows I give my pick at the end of college football tailgate.
Yeah.
So I'll be giving out my pick a little bit before 7 p.m. Eastern tonight on the network. Everybody knows that's when I give out my pick, never before that. But I will tell you, I think tonight's the better of the two games. And when I say better, I think it's the game that is going to be closer. I feel like there's no way this game, I think it's a low-scoring game. I think there's no way this game isn't close. You know, tomorrow night, I could see more of a scenario where there could be a lot of points scored. If there's a lot of points scored, you could have a double-digit victory. I think tonight is going to be a great game. I think it's the better of the two.
Yeah.
Zaz, I think that the only matchup between these two semifinals results, the only national championship game that America would be disappointed in would be an Ohio State-Penn State rematch, because we all kind of know Ohio State's better than Penn State. I don't think we know any other result between those other three teams. What national championship game do you want to see?
Yeah, because it's like if it wasn't a rematch, Ohio State-Penn State's a fantastic game. But because it's a rematch, yes, I think you're probably right that it's the game that the national public would least want to see. I love this kind of stuff. Like, what game does the majority of the country want to see? And it's a tough one, but I would say Ohio State. I think Ohio State's a bigger brand than Texas. I mean, look, it's Texas, which just shows you how huge Ohio State is. I think Ohio State's a bigger brand than Texas. I think Ohio State Notre Dame is the matchup that probably the general public would love to see most.
That will move the most needles. I will say this, no matter who ends up there, I think it's going to be Ohio State for sure tomorrow. No matter who ends up there out of these two teams tonight, it's hard for me to pick anybody against the Buckeyes, especially with the kid who was just playing high school football this time last year in this area, Jeremiah Smith, out there on the field. He's like the second coming of Megatron and Julio Jones.
Here's what I would say about the Buckeyes. They're clearly playing the best football out of everyone. And you look at the road that they have to get to the national championship would also be the most impressive. All right, you look at what we're talking about: beating Tennessee, we're talking about beating Oregon, then they would have to beat Texas, and then whoever be the national champion. Like, by far the best/toughest road. So at the same time, you say to yourself, wow, Ohio State, can they play 3 straight and then potentially 4 straight A-plus games? Like, that's what we're talking about here for Ohio State to win the whole thing. Doesn't mean that they won't, all right? But that's what we're talking about if Ohio State's going to win the whole thing.
Man, they spent $20 million on the roster. They better be able to do that, you know?
That's true. All right, come on. That's what the expectations are. I get it. And, look, what are we talking about? 10 years, right? 10 years? Since they were the first team when we went to an actual college football playoff. Yeah, 10 years ago, 14, they were the first team to win the national championship. So 10 years since they've won the title. And it's a cool narrative, I guess, where, we go from Ryan Day, is he going to keep his job? And just the whole, Ohio State's whole thing is you got to beat Michigan. You got to beat Michigan. Well, what if you don't beat Michigan and you win the national championship? Is that a good season? Like, is that still okay?
A lot of people
may be what you got.
Yeah, I was about to say, a lot of people are going to be left with a foot in their mouth because there's so many people within that rivalry, and I still don't get it, and I'm glad I don't, that think beating the other one is bigger than winning the national championship. When Ohio State, or if Ohio State gets it done this year, I would like to hear an update, at least from Buckeye fans, on how they feel about that, because the Wolverines, there's no way you're celebrating.
I think they need to reprogram their way of thinking because, we're talking 100 years. It's all about beating Michigan, beating Ohio State. And if you lose that game, you're inevitably not going to be voted number one and a national champion. Well, it's not like that anymore. 10 years ago, we got a 4-team playoff. And now you can still get into a 12-team playoff even if you lose to Michigan. So they have to, recalibrate their thinking that, okay, beating Michigan is still, the most important thing, but it's not the only thing. You can still win a national championship.
You could. Zaz, where can the people find your work, not just in general, but also today and tomorrow as you are on the road right now with ESPN Radio?
Of course. It's very cold here, but don't worry. You see, I got my Scully. I got long sleeves.
Yeah.
I'm looking good, all right? Make sure you keep up with ESPN Radio Social. We got all kinds of videos and pics. You can see the weather and all that good stuff. But, yes, Zaslow Show 2.0, Miami-based podcast, South Florida-based. You get the national version of me on ESPN Radio. You get the local version on Zaslow Show 2.0 everywhere you get your podcast. And the podcast is presented by Anajar and Levine, accident attorneys. If you're involved in any kind of an accident, slip and fall, hit and run, motorcycle, boating. If you're dealing with a personal injury, you call Anajar and Levine, accident attorneys. They have a specific set of skills they put to work for you. 800-747-FREE, 800-747-3733.
Stay cool. Stay cool and stay pretty like the Soulja Boy song says, Ass.
I was born cool, guys. Look at this. I was born.
Nice. My guy, appreciate your time. That's Jonathan Zaslow Show 2.0. And, of course, ESPN Radio. Have a great Thursday. Hold down my home state. One thing that Texas doesn't have and Florida has everywhere, including near where we're at right now, is Duffy's Sports Grill. And I got to tell you about the just amazing immaculateness that is Duffy'sMVP.com, because you jump right on there and you're able to check out all of the great menu items from the starters, amazing mozzarella sticks, firecrackers, shrimp, house-made fried pickles. I mean, salads as well. Asian chop salad. How about some island fish tacos? Jumbo fried shrimp, buttermilk chicken tenders. These are the kind of delicacies you can enjoy at a Duffy Sports Grill, and you pair those with 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. You can really get your groove on. I need entry music when I walk into Duffy's. I need to start that tradition maybe, and maybe I can't copy Zaz. I'll find my own way, C-Cat. But no matter what the entry music will be, I know when I get to my table, I will sit down and I will see 80 or more televisions within that bar, and I'll be able to enjoy those 2-for-1 drinks.
Hey, the Duffy's in Delray.
Yeah.
8 o'clock tonight.
Yeah.
That's the headquarters of Ravens Flock. Wow. 8 o'clock on Amazon Prime. Don't pay for Amazon Prime.
Don't do that.
Get it for free at Duffy's.
Duffy'sMVP.com. Duffy Sports Grill. They're going to have it on. You have a doubleheader of sorts. Actually, not doubleheader. They're happening at the same time with both of your teams. And if you have that situation going, like C-Cat, 2 teams playing at once, 80 or more televisions, Duffy's is perfect for you. Duffy'sMVP.com. At Duffy's, our game is always on. C-Cat, I already know the answer to this question, but as a Penn State fan and as a Ravens fan, which one, if you could only pick one to win tonight, who
Penn State.
would you go with?
It'd be Penn State.
Yeah, I figured.
It's so much harder to win a national championship or to make it to the national championship in college football than it is in the NFL. And I've already seen a Ravens Super Bowl in my lifetime. Yeah. I've already had a playoff run with the Ravens end up in a Super Bowl championship. I haven't really gotten close with Penn State.
What if I told you this? Penn State wins tonight but loses the national championship, or Ravens win the Super Bowl? Which one would you pick? Ooh. Which outcome?
It'd feel so good for Lamar to win a Super Bowl.
Right?
I'd be so happy for him.
It's a tough call.
And I'm working in radio.
It's a tough call.
And that would mean I would be in Atlanta watching Penn State.
Fellow Penn State alum here looking at you with a side eye.
That means I would – oh, goodness gracious. That means I would be watching it in person, too. I'd be in Atlanta watching the confetti fall
for the other team
to Texas or Ohio State. I would rather have a Super Bowl championship for the Ravens than a national championship berth for Penn State.
I agree. I like it. It means more when you win it all, and at least for Penn State, getting to the Final Four is a major accomplishment in itself already. Getting to that next level, that next stage, I'll tell you this much, that FAU run that we had where they were one shot away in basketball from making the national championship game, guess what? You still get to hang that Final Four banner. It still matters. I want to tell you one last thing before we get on the way out, talking about champions. You can't say champions in this area without talking about Kaiser University. They are the home of the champions at their flagship campus in West Palm Beach. KUSeahawks.com. That's how you can tap in to see what the Seahawks have cooking up, and I can tell you what they got cooking up. How about 60 or more conference championships between their programs? How about 22 and counting NAIA national championships? That's Kaiser Seahawks athletics. That is what that program is all about. KUSeahawks.com. Tap in with Kaiser so they can get you right. And you also could go over there and check out the lacrosse team or the women's and diving team. I mean, these are championship-winning programs with coaches that lead programs that have a standard that is above excellence. KUSeahawks.com. Check out the Seahawks as they defend the beach. KUSeahawks.com. C-Cat, I'm going to leave it to you and Colin Russo here on Theoretically Speaking.
He's still here. I don't know where the hell he is.
You got to find him. You got to find him, but you ain't going to be able to find me because I got to run on stage. I hear DJ Stryker's voice. That means that he needs me to be up there getting the crowd going. So
it's a lost kid at Walmart.
Yeah.
Looking for you.
He's like, the heck is Steve? He texted me, said, are you coming still, dude? So I'll be on the FanFest tailgate. I'll drop back by when I have a chance. C-Cat, you and Colin steer the ship from here. Thank y'all so much. Enjoy the Orange Bowl tonight. This is Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Hi, this is Scott Smith with Smith Ball Baez and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. We are a Florida civil trial law firm that specializes in the areas of personal injury and wrongful death. Our offices are located in Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie. Our lawyers have litigated thousands of matters at the Palm Beach, Martin, St. Lucie, and Indian River County courthouses. Our lawyers, paralegals, and other numerous members of our legal team live in Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast cities and towns such as West Palm Beach, Port St. Lucie, Lake Worth, Palm Beach Gardens, Palm City, Jupiter, and others just like you and your families. We are a statewide recognized law firm, but it is your community and your families that we live and associate with on a daily basis. Our most satisfying achievement is when we know that our legal power has helped a fellow member of our Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast community secure a fair and just huge result. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith Ball Baez and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP, 500-HELP. With Smith Ball Baez and Prather, help is just a local phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
Hi, I'm Michael Manzo, owner and founder of Manzo's Italian Deli, and
Stop, Dad. After 20 years, people are tired of hearing your voice.
Yeah, and your lame-ass commercials.
Fresh prosciutto, mozzarella, outstanding.
Oh, please.
There's only one reason Manzo's is voted #1 deli in Palm Beach County for 20 years. Our mother.
She makes sure you prepare everything from scratch using only the freshest ingredients.
Manzo's Italian Deli is located on Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard, right next to Rain Dancers.
Is that a strip club?
No, it's a steakhouse. Manzo's is open weekdays from 8 to 5 and offers free delivery. So stop by or call 697-9411. That's 697-9411.
we also specialize in hot and cold catering for corporate functions and special events.
Just ask anyone who was at my last birthday party.
Did somebody say road trip? That's right. ESPN West Palm is going on the road to the Orange Bowl for Notre Dame versus Penn State. That's today. Russo and Rizzo, they're live on ESPN 106.3.
Good Greek moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
It's the Good Greek Spiro. For the best move ever, go to goodgreek.com.
Good Greek moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
Is racking up tens of thousands of dollars in student loan debt really worth the 4-year degree? Not a lot of people think so anymore. A recent Wall Street Journal poll found that 56% of us believe that a skills-based education, that's a smarter investment than a 4-year degree. So why waste that time and money when there's an alternative right here in North Palm Beach that teaches skills that people can actually use in today's world, and you can get those skills in just months, not years. I'm talking about CSB Media Arts Center in North Palm Beach, the home to Connecticut School of Broadcasting, which provides hands-on training in audio and video production, podcasting, sports broadcasting, social media marketing, filmmaking, coding, and so much more. For over 60 years, CSB has placed thousands of graduates in careers. Take a moment and visit gocsb.com to schedule a tour. That's gocsb.com.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
Theo Dorsey, duty calls for that gentleman. He is hosting FanFest over here at the Capital One Orange Bowl at Hard Rock Stadium. Colin Russo filling in for him now, still joined by Christian Catt, who has been here the whole way. It's Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3. Penn State, Notre Dame being the lone game on a Thursday night. You know what I love about today is that there's only one game. It's not stacking like how they usually did with the semifinals on a Saturday, a 4:30 and an 8. Instead, this is the game. Make a whole day out of it. We're at FanFest. People are starting to come in here, and you see a lot of Penn State white and blue. So they have traveled well so far, but I like how this is the lone game of the semifinal day. This is Penn State's day.
It's nice. There's so many different things that have gone Penn State's way in their favor to make the path as easy as possible. It's been well documented, the teams they've had to play to get here. But they've also had more rest coming into this game because of
extra 2 days
delay from Notre Dame. Yes, it was supposed to be 1 day, but the tragedy made it 2 days. And now they're going to have whoever wins this game an extra day of rest of whoever wins the semifinal game between Ohio State and Texas.
That's a good point.
It's being paved for Penn State, and it's very uncomfortable because, as a Penn State fan of over a decade now, I've had my fair share of weird bounces, weird calls not going Penn State's way, or weird occurrences, weird calls that felt football gods being unfair. They're being a little bit too good to be true right now for Penn State fans.
Yeah, it's weird because Penn State, you mentioned you're nervous, I could tell. You're a little nervous about what type of Penn State team we're going to see show up today. Because you think about it, Penn State, they've blitzed both of their opponents so far in this college football playoff. They went right after SMU. SMU barely had any chance to breathe. Boise State mostly went right after them. Boise State, I know, made it closer in the second half, but still ultimately punched them right in the mouth. Penn State hasn't necessarily taken a punch to the mouth.
Yeah.
That Oregon game you could bring up. You could bring up the Minnesota game, Bowling Green if you want to earlier in the regular season. But in these college football playoff environments, a lot of these teams are 2 games seasoned. 2 games into it, a little more competitive on Notre Dame's path comparatively to Penn State. And off of that, I think there's a element of battle-testedness that there's still questions. We're halfway through this, and we still have questions about how Penn State will respond if and when they get punched in the mouth eventually.
I don't care how it went. Notre Dame as a program has been to games this magnitude before in recent memory. And I know that they were against titan of opponents out of the SEC, and it didn't go very well, or Clemson. But Notre Dame's been here before. Maybe not these players, maybe not even this coach, but they've been here before. Penn State has not been in the 14 playoff before, and welcome to the Final Four.
How do you feel about James Franklin being a little bit more vocal than Marcus Freeman in media availability over the week? I know he made headlines 2 days ago saying that, listen, this is no knock on Notre Dame, but I ultimately think that everybody should be in a conference, which is sort of an open secret in regard to how Notre Dame is an independent, but James Franklin made it a point to say that. And then he said the other day about battle-testedness in the Big Ten. He's defending the conferences, really. Do you have a problem with the outspokenness comparatively to Marcus Freeman, who has been crickets playing it by the book? Does that make you nervous?
It absolutely makes me annoyed because I feel like James Franklin is first-team All-American pre-complainer, pre-giving excuses so that when things don't go wrong, he's on the record saying the deck was stacked against them beforehand. He did this before Penn State played SMU at home and said, it's not a real home field environment. We can't sell the ad space we normally do. The tickets are still being given to SMU at a higher clip than we would normally for a road game. He is so often pre-complaining and giving those excuses, those little breadcrumbs, to set up for an ultimate letdown.
So a lot of the times with coaches and how you come into these games, James, you've already won 2 games. Less is more. Marcus Freeman is saying by-the-book answers. You could get his real thoughts after the game. I think that provides a little bit more of a sentiment to the team that might trickle down. All right, the team, all right, coach is as locked in as ever. That's got to resonate with the player a little bit. With James Franklin giving, if you want to call it, bulletin board material to Notre Dame. Why? What is the point there? Like, you're just asking for people to target you if and when something goes wrong.
So let's kind of dig deep and pick apart why he said that. And it makes sense in this initial iteration of the 12-team playoff where the auto buys are given to conference champions, the 4 highest which of those conference champions. Notre Dame can't play in a conference championship game by not being in a conference. So they essentially get that week as a bye week, but they do not get the automatic bye, no chance for it, in the 12-team playoff. Things will change if they get rid of the auto buys for the 4 highest-ranked conference champions. Will it still matter to the highest degree where Notre Dame's being put at a kind of an advantage if they take away those auto buys?
Well, Notre Dame is going to be put at an advantage if they take away those auto buys, and then that's when people will really start complaining. This is the type of thing with how if you're going to maneuver something as big as the playoffs and the formatting of college football, there's going to be complaints. There's going to be something you have wrong every single iteration. Now, when you eventually, it's going to happen, when you eventually expand it and you eventually make it so the top 4 get buys and it has nothing to do with conference championships, then everybody's going to start complaining. The Georgias of the world and the Texases of the world, the Ohio States of the world, we're all going to start complaining that why does Notre Dame not have to worry about playing a game, have to worry about changing their seed in any regard. Their resume is in fine print and they get the extra week off. And it's basically like a bye week. So why are they allotted a bye week? And they have because the other guys are like, well, why should we go play hard in this game? But we could hurt our seeding. So we're going to go into this game, and if we're going in as the overall 3 seed and we lose a classic in overtime and we drop down to the 6, don't get a bye because of it, why does Notre Dame still get that top through 4 seed?
Yeah.
Because they didn't play an extra game. They didn't have to play the top of the other part of the conference.
Yeah. And it's also crying poor. James Franklin is also been very vocal about how unhappy he is with the amount of funding Penn State football gets when he's trying to compete with programs that get a whole lot more funding in this is before NIL, by the way. Mm-hmm. This is just facilities. He's saying you've got these teams like Michigan, Ohio State, and Texas who have pro facilities, and we simply cannot compete with what they have as resources. And now that players are getting paid, he's getting even louder about that. And the reason I say that is everyone saw the graphic, how the Big Ten got a certain amount of money because of their 2 teams that are in the Final Four, how you saw the SEC get a certain amount of money because of Texas in the Final Four. Notre Dame got all that money. Everyone saw the graphic, and he's saying they're getting a whole lot richer from playing in this game than we are.
Yeah, absolutely. It's upward of more, 100% more.
Yeah.
Penn State, if they get to the national championship, I believe they get in the realm of something like $1 million to the school, while Notre Dame might get in the realm of $10 to $15 million directly to the school. That's just off of conferences. So off of that makes it tricky. Now, to fight back, if you really want to get into logistics, Penn State's in the Big Ten. The Big Ten has a fat contract with CBS and Fox and everything, and NBC. That money, I believe the schools make in the realm of $77 million a year just off of being in the conference alone. Notre Dame does not get that. No, Notre Dame gets their own cash from NBC. I don't have those numbers in front of me, but there is a level of, all right, we get paid in this route. Notre Dame is getting paid in this route because they're sort of not in the union, if you want to call it like that. So the bottom line is you're never going to get it right. You're never going to get it right. As we got a special guest who's going to come up a little later in the show on Theoretically Speaking, Colin Russo filling in for Theo. He is running FanFest over here at the Capital One Orange Bowl. You still got time. The game starts at 7:30, so we're going to have a good time as people start to trickle in. A lot of Penn State. I'm a little surprised. I thought Notre Dame would travel well. I haven't gotten that feeling yet, so we'll see what happens as FanFest continues to roll on. Jason Cabinda, former Penn State fullback and linebacker who played for the Detroit Lions and the Oakland Raiders for a little bit, he will be joining us at FanFest on Theoretically Speaking in just a few moments. So we'll get a hold of him, and it should be a whole lot of fun. Get his thoughts on what's going to happen today and a bunch of other things in the NFL. Stick around for it. Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 1063.
Sweetie, come here. Don't worry. I see a lot of patients with the exact same thing.
Ever since the ice skating rink went in next door?
Or is it more than
Dr. Clark's business is heating up.
So many patients need my help. How will I find time to see all of them?
They need to hire a scheduler, stat.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold at $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
Let's be honest. If your performance in the bedroom feels more like uh-oh than whoa, you're not alone. But don't worry, we've got just the thing for you. Hexus MD's new Performance Blend. No awkward doctor visits, no prescriptions with crazy side effects, just a powerful, easy-to-use pill that gets you back in the game. Hexus MD's new Performance Blend works in just 15 minutes, and it's stronger than the competition. Use discount code ESPN50 for 50% off your first order. Don't wait. Visit HEXISMD.com.
The Club at Lost Lake, a championship Fazio design golf course in Hope Sound. Golf and social memberships are now available with no waiting list and immediate access. The course and club will see over $10 million in capital improvements and is one of the best private club values in the area. Experience the beauty and challenge of this renowned course for yourself. Enjoy year-round access to exclusive amenities and events. Visit clublostlake.com to schedule a visit today. Don't miss out on this incredible course. And please, putt responsibly.
Banyan Printing, your trusted printing, mailing, and signage partner in the Palm Beaches for over 45 years. Banyan Printing's new metallic ink press adds that extra shine so that your product comes out in glossy gold, sparkling silver, or any other color you want to shine. Banyan Printing is the official printer of Kaiser Athletics and would love to be your official printing partner as well. Order products and learn more about what Banyan Printing can do for your business at banyanonline.com or call 561-586-6220.
Hey golf fans, Colin Russo here. Looking to improve your game? Flagstick Golf Performance, the ultimate indoor golf experience, is now open in Boynton Beach. With 3 indoor simulators and a state-of-the-art putting studio, Flagstick helps players at all levels up their game. Get lessons from experts, try the latest clubs, or just come up for a round on the simulators. You can track your stats and see real improvement. Flagstick is where serious golfers and beginners find their edge. Bring your friends or family and enjoy golf like never before. Visit flagstickgolfperformance.com to book your session.
Kaiser University's flagship campus, the 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach, extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees in the heart of South Florida. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 20 national championships, including the 2024 Women's Swimming and Diving Championship and 2023 football, lacrosse, and men's swimming and diving titles. Visit KUSeahawks.com for the latest.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
Anajar and Levine. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WUUB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station. Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
The man your man could smell.
Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
Streaming live on YouTube.
You're gonna break up with me because of what I do on the radio?
Here's Theo Dorsey.
No Theo Dorsey. He's playing host over at FanFest. We're at the Capital One Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida. It's Colin Russo filling in for Theo on Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 1063. Joined alongside me is Christian Catt, as always. We have a special guest now, former Penn State linebacker, former Detroit Lion linebacker, Mr. Jason Cabinda, joining us now. Jason, appreciate you giving the time. How you doing today? What's going on?
I absolutely appreciate y'all having me on, man. Just ready to see my boys win a big old game so they can stop talking about my guy, Coach Franklin.
That's right. So this is somebody who played for Coach Franklin, and Coach Franklin has a target on his back. We know that because James Franklin is such an eccentric personality and it's so out there in the media that everybody likes picking on him because there's got to be somebody to pick on. And but you played for him. You were involved in a lot of great Penn State football teams.
Absolutely.
Explain how this one compares to the great teams that you played for. Is there similarities, or is this sort of the Penn State that can take it to the next level? What's your read?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of similarities, and I think it starts with the fact that, our 2016 Big Ten Championship team, we went through a lot of adversity that season. We started off 2-2. We had that Michigan loss, 42-10. We had a ton of guys hurt in the beginning of the year. And when I look at this team this year, you got a couple of losses. They've gone through adversity. They had to go to Wisconsin on the road and win a game with their backup quarterback. USC on the road, down double digits, had to come back, win in overtime. So they're really, really battle tested. I don't think they flinch an inch when a challenge or adversity comes their way. And I think that's what makes a champion, is being able to say, okay, let's strap it up, next play, regardless of what happens to play before. And that's what I love seeing out of this team.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. That was the 14 playoff days. Penn State, I feel, got snubbed. I thought they had a certain case to make it in over Ohio State with the head-to-head to win in the Big Ten championship.
I'm still holding the grudge.
And now the year's 2024, 2025 now, and because of the 12-team playoff, we're seeing this Penn State team, who may not be the best team in the Big Ten when the Big Ten championship game was played, go on a run here. How cool is that to see? Maybe these guys here getting an opportunity you might not have been able to.
I mean, it's awesome. I think the concept of the college football playoffs, having 12 teams, it reminds me of basketball's March Madness. I mean, you really get to see the type of opponents you want to see play each other. We're seeing out-of-conference teams like a Boise State be able to get in and see how they stack up against some of the best teams inside of college football. So I think it's really great for the landscape. I think it's shaping up really good. I hope Notre Dame joins a conference, but hold a little grudge against that, too. We can put that out there because Coach Franklin put it out there, too. But, nah, man, I think it's awesome for college football. I mean, you see all these fans over here at FanFest be able to see two great college fan bases come together, no names, all games, tradition, blue blood programs. I mean, there's not much more you can ask for than a matchup like this today.
Former Penn State linebacker Jason Cabinda joining Theoretically Speaking now on ESPN 1063. You mentioned the adversity that this team faced during the regular season. That Minnesota game is another one where Minnesota had them against the ropes, and they were able to get back into the game. They went drive for drive with Oregon for a little bit, so they have played in games where they have had to respond to adversity. Now, one thing, let's be fair, is they haven't had that so far in the playoff. And a lot of teams, you could say the same as well.
Yes.
They were able to steamroll SMU at home, and then you had to deal with Boise State, who probably shouldn't have gotten a bye in all things considered, but they were able to beat them down pretty handily as well. This is going to be a different type of test. This is a type of team that is not going to make mistakes, not going to hand the game off to you. Off of that, is there a little sense of nervousness that maybe the Penn State might come out a little tight? Or is this going to be a game where the first one to kind of make a mistake is going to be the one that falls?
I think the best part about this matchup is the fact that these are two teams that are really trying to do the same thing to each other.
Right.
I mean, both really physical teams, run-heavy offenses. They both got two-headed monsters. They got two solid quarterbacks. Riley's a little bit better with his legs. Drew a little bit better through the air. So it's a really evenly matched up teams that kind of have the same type of identity. When you have a game like that, I think that's what makes those two colossals going against each other so much sweeter. It's going to be a game where whoever makes the least amount of mistakes, whoever's able to capitalize in the moments of the game where momentum can shift, I think that's what's going to be the deciding factor in this game today.
Now, Jason, you've been a big Penn State fan since you graduated. Of course, playing on that team kind of marks you forever. Would a win tonight be Penn State's biggest win since your Big Ten championship win over Wisconsin?
I think it has to be. I don't see how not. I mean, you win this game today, and you're in the national championship. And, I mean, that's our goal every single year, is to be the best of the best, standing at the tippity top of the mountain. And if Penn State is able to do that and truly restore its glory the same way we did in 2016, I think that would be an awesome thing for our program and our organization.
What would you say about the people that say Penn State can't win the big one? They haven't been able to win the big one. It's sort of been the dark cloud over the program because they haven't had a marquee victory in the closer part of 8-10 years. Off of that, this is an opportunity. This is the sort of chance to stamp your foothold into the blue-blooded nature of college football. How would you say that would that be a motivating factor, or is this, thinking from James Franklin's perspective, is this the type of game where you kind of have to make it seem smaller than it is, or do you kind of soak in the moment and try to stamp your foot of approval into this?
Yeah, I think for everybody who talks about the big game thing with Penn State, I mean, here's what I'll say. It's a 12-team playoffs, and there's only 4 teams left right now, and Penn State's one of them. And we had to win 2 games in order to get there.
True.
And the stakes don't get higher than go win or go home, and Penn State's done it twice now. We're going to do it 2 more times. So that's all I got to say about that.
Spoken like a true champion right there. So let me get this, too, because I want to get into the psyche of James Franklin. We can't, of course, James Franklin does not have time to jump on the program with us, but you're somebody who played with him, had a great career at Penn State. What was the moment for you where you knew James Franklin's the guy I got to play for? I got to play for this man. I'd run through a wall for this man, and I got to stick it out with this guy. What was that moment for you?
I think for me, it kind of starts with Coach Franklin's core values, and I felt like it resonated a lot with who I was growing up. You know, positive attitude, must be willing to sacrifice, competing in everything that you do, and having a great work ethic. I mean, this is a dude that lives and breathes those core values every single day, and he's the same person every single day. And I think when you see a guy be the same person through any level of adversity, whatever it looks like, in the ebb and flows of college football, be the same person every single day, that's a guy that you can respect. So he has the respect in the locker room. He says the same message every single time, and he's all about the little things. He's all about the process. And I think you're seeing right now Penn State has followed their process, and it's put them in position to be a top 4 team in the college football playoff right now with a chance to go to the national championship.
Now, Jason, on your team in 2016 with Penn State, you obviously played with Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley did not play in Week 18 to switch over to some NFL topics.
I hate it.
You hated it. Just
I hate it.
like you wanted him to get the record.
Look, I'm getting hot right now. I'm going to have to take my jacket off right now. Because let me tell you this. What would be better than the New York Giants looking dumb and making sure they get rid of their best player, paying Daniel Jones, and then in Week 18, Saquon coming in, stopping in, and getting the record against them? And while they're not even going to the playoffs, and while the Eagles are rated really high in the playoffs, I mean, the Giants made a huge mistake letting this guy go. He's the heartbeat of your team. He's so talented. He does everything right. He's humble. He works hard. Those are the kind of guys that you keep inside of your building. So I think the Giants organization is really idiotic for it, and I'm really, really glad that they're paying for it firsthand with their rival in the exact same division.
This is out of spite of the Giants. This has nothing to do with the Eagles.
Karma.
This has nothing to do about the record. This has everything to do with spiting the Giants. One thing you mentioned about James Franklin, he preaches his core values. He preaches hell or high water, win or lose. He is the same man. He preaches the same way. Another guy who's like that is Mr. Dan Campbell, the head coach of the Detroit Lions. And one thing that people have said about Campbell is through win, through loss, winning or losing, he will go for it on 4th down. He will be that hard-nosed coach, and he will play his starters when they don't need to play. You saw this at the beginning of it. You were there with the Lions when he was first hired, and there were questions about, is this really working?
Yeah.
Give me a sense of when he entered that building, how he sort of started. You were there at the foundational level of how he started to change that culture.
I mean, I think he's just a winner. You know, he's a winner, and I think one of the first things when he came in, I think we won 3 games that first year, 3 or 4 games, and I remember after those losses, how much he preached that we can't get used to it. That hurt that you got to let it sting. Because if it don't, it means you don't care. And this is a dude who, like I said, just like Coach Franklin, has stayed the same throughout this entire process from going to 3 wins to 9-8 missing the playoffs to now being 15-2 and being the number 1 seed in the NFL playoffs. I think that's the reason why so many people respect him. I mean, he's a guy who's been in our shoes, played 10 years in the league, very experienced, very respected. And I think when you have a guy who's been in your shoes and done it at a high level, it's just that much easier to appreciate and to really listen in on all the details and all the things that he's saying. So, man, I absolutely love Dan. And I think he's just the heartbeat of that team. And every single person on that team has embodied his identity of playing hard, for playing for each other, playing the game the right way. And I think one thing about Brad and Dan that they've done, I really commend them on, is they have not sacrificed the culture for any level of talent. They don't care who you are. They don't care how many touchdowns you score, how many rushing yards you had last year. If you're not about the culture and what the Detroit Lions are about, and that's about grit, you're not going to be in the building.
I'm glad you used the word grit, because I was about to say the word tough. You can obviously say Dan Campbell embodies the word tough. What also embodies the word tough is changing from linebacker to fullback when you get to the league. What went behind that decision, and how did that happen?
Yeah, well, we had a fullback on the roster. This was going into my 4th year in the league, I believe. We had a fullback on the roster. He was a little bit banged up during training camp. We weren't sure how he was going to do. I used to talk a lot of shit to our running backs coach all the time and say, be like, hey, you need some dogs over there. Yeah. We used to go back and forth and say, all right, well, why don't you come play over here? Next practice, we have a little 3-on-3, kind of like an Oklahoma-style drill, and I was in there as a fullback, and I came and smacked our linebacker. And the coach was kind of like, oh.
There might be something here.
We might have something here. Next practice, I did 11-on-11 period. Practice after that, I did the whole practice on offense, ended up winning the starting job at fullback, and ended up playing fullback the rest of my career. So it was a move that, was
kind of just spur of the moment.
Yeah, it was a mutually beneficial move for both of us. But yeah, it was a spur of the moment type of deal. They loved my play on special teams and wanted to find a way to make sure they kept me on the team from a standpoint of numbers. And, we found a way to do it, and my career flourished because
There's got to be a lot of similarities between playing linebacker and playing fullback. You're sort of the one administering the pain. You're the one that's kind of administering the contact.
Yeah.
Now, it's a little bit different because one is kind of going after it, but was there that similarity? Did that make that transition really seamless? Because you got to be a violent person, but you got to be able to be aggressive and the whole thing hard-nosed. It sort of plays into each other, right?
Yeah, it definitely helped playing defense before because I was able to read coverages. And when you know coverage, you know exactly how linebackers are going to take on blocks. So it really helped me in run fits, knowing where the linebackers were going to fit and being able to beat them to certain spots. So it definitely had an advantage. But I think the biggest help for me was, not only the playbook, but just the play calling. The offensive play calls in the NFL are so long. And you have the first play call, then you might have a kill or an alert after that. You might have 3 plays in your head going to the line of scrimmage and 3 different assignments that you might have to do depending on what Jared Goff checks it to. So that was a big adjustment for me, but I was able to learn quickly, and I had a ton of vets that were able to bring me under their wing and push me along.
So obviously a Penn Stater who made it to the league, actually had a career in the league, but you never forgot where you came from with Penn State. What is it about Penn State that had you coming back and get you involved with state media?
Just what a special place. There's a ton of college football programs, where there's the only reason why they care about you is what you can produce on the field. And Penn State's the type of place not only that molded me into a man, but cared about me off of the field. It was a place that felt like family. It felt like home, and that's how they treat you. It's how Coach Franklin treats his players. So to be able to come back and cover, my former college football team, and I just have so much love for these guys, this organization, the opportunity it gave me, and what I was able to turn it into. It's an absolute blessing to be able to cover this team, and now look at us. Yeah. Top 4 in the college football playoffs. You couldn't ask for anything better.
Wait, you played in a bunch of great games in your career, especially the 2 end of years of your career over at Penn State. A lot of great games, a lot of tight games.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into a couple here. The one I'm thinking of, that 2017 Ohio State game. Remember that one in your building with the Saquon? What was that? The first opening play, the touchdown.
Do I remember the kickoff return touchdown? Yeah, that one hurt. That one stung.
That's got to be brutal. So, from a Penn State guy, is it important to go see Ohio State in the next round if they were to escape this game?
If you're a Penn State fan, I think there's nothing more that you'd love right now than some sweet revenge.
You want it?
Because not only do you
win, it's got to be Ohio State. So it's a team that has the number. Yeah.
Because not only do you go and win all the big games that they say you can't win, but then you go and you write one of your mistakes and get sweet revenge on Ohio State. I don't think the storybook could play out any better if that were to happen.
Jason, I'm a Penn State fan. I'm a Penn State alum. I graduated class of 2020. I was a freshman when we saw Grant Haley, Marcus Allen combined for that block kick return for a touchdown. I went to Indianapolis. I saw Penn State come from behind and beat Wisconsin. Talk some sense into me. I'm afraid of Ohio State. I'm afraid of playing Ohio State in the national championship game if it comes to that. I want to see Texas. Talk some sense into me.
I think Ohio State should be afraid of us. Truly. That's what I think.
Listen, Jason, I understand. I got to butt in here. I understand. That's fine. Ohio State is dangerous.
I may be retired, but the competitor's still here.
I understand. I'm not a line. I understand. That's the linebacker mentality right there. But Jason, let's call it. We see it. Ohio State's probably is playing their best ball right now. You got to assume that there's maybe some mutual animosity, but that would be they've already beaten Penn State. Is it the beaten twice mentality? What is this? Walk me through this.
I just don't see a team beating us twice. I think this is a team that learns from their mistakes. I think this is a team that we've seen grow all year through all the challenges that they've been through. And I just don't see a matchup like that playing out the same way. And honestly, there are critical moments in that game where we could have won it. Yeah. Whether it's the first and goal drives that we had where we're inside of the 5 and we don't get it in, whether it's at the end of the first half and Drew Aller throwing that pick and it instead being a touchdown, there's moments in that game where if just one play happens, the entire narrative of that game flips. So that's just how I feel.
That's Jason Kabinda, former Penn State Nittany Lion linebacker, joining us now on Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3. Let's get into this. The best environment you ever played in college. What was that?
Outside of Beaver Stadium?
It can be in Beaver Stadium, too. It could be a specific game. What was the one that really pops into your head?
2016 whiteout against Ohio State, without a question. That is the first time that I've been a part of a game in which all the fans rushed the field. We won that game. I got stuck at the 50-yard line. I'm getting swarmed by fans, pictures, people shoving their phones in their
If he's
faces.
not moving, then there's a lot of people there.
I missed the entire post-game speech of Coach. By the time I got back to the locker room, post-game speech by Coach Franklin had been done. Everybody's just in the locker room partying with the music. I just came in dancing, doing my thing.
Walking in, where have you been? I've been at the 50-yard line with 100,000 kids
Literally.
rushing the field. Unbelievable. All right, so today's game, Penn State, Notre Dame, keys to the game, and score prediction. What do you got for us?
I think a key to the game today is going to be, how does the run game play out? They've got Love and Price. We've got Allen and Singleton. How do those two backs fare? We know that Love is coming off an injury. He was limited in practice this week, so we'll see how ready he is for this game. And then, two, honestly, a big key today is, does Abdul Carter play or not?
Yeah.
Because one of Penn State's strategies to limiting these rushing quarterbacks is being able to use Abdul Carter as a quarterback spy. And whenever the quarterback steps up into the passing rush lane or he gets to the outside, Abdul has the athleticism to get sideline to sideline. If he doesn't play today, then this pass rush game is all going to be about discipline and keeping Riley Leonard inside of the pocket and not letting him hurt you with your legs. We got to keep him in there and have him beat us with his arm. So that's going to be a huge factor in this game, is how much does Riley Leonard hurt us today with his legs? And then can this Penn State offense continue to get going and really lean on this run-heavy offense? Can we get Allen and Singleton going? We know what Drew Aller can do in the play-action pass game. We know what Tyler Warren can do, guy who should have been a Heisman finalist this year. So I'm excited for the matchup, and I think it's going to be a close one.
You mentioned Drew Aller. Drew Aller committed to playing next year at Penn State. He said he intends to be a Penn State Nittany Lion for the 2025 season. If Drew Aller wins this game and puts on a clinic, would you, as Jason Kabinda, advise him to take the next step to the league?
I've been dancing with this question over the past couple of weeks because as I've seen Drew's development this year, I see more and more of NFL caliber talent.
Absolutely.
The way he's getting comfortable, the way he's processing and getting to his second, third, fourth reads, check downs. I mean, he's doing a really good job. And not only that, but just managing the game at the line of scrimmage, calling out blitzes, checking protections, making sure that they've got everything covered. And that's how you got to be able to operate as an NFL caliber quarterback. So if they go and win these next two games, and with the type of quarterback class you had this year, it's really hard to argue against this guy not being one of the three top quarterbacks taken, if not maybe the first two. So that's a great question. I think if he wins out, I say he goes.
I agree with you. And you mentioned that we're starting to see more and more out of Drew Aller. And you're right. He's always been somebody that's been playing. He plays protected. He knows how to protect the game. He knows how to keep a game in check. He knows how to pick up the blitzes, protect the football. But then that Oregon game happened. And that Big Ten, Penn State lost. The defense couldn't get a stop. But I thought Aller specifically had a lot of throws where you think, that's an NFL throw.
Oh, yeah.
That's an NFL throw. That's an NFL arm right there. And then he kind of continues that forward momentum. The last few games against three good teams have been really impressive. Aller especially, those were the games where I was like, that guy can be a pro. That guy can be a pro.
Yeah, I think this year we've not only seen him develop from a standpoint of being able to go through his progressions, but, man, knowing when to run, knowing when to get out of the pocket, knowing when to throw the ball away. I just think he's been such a good decision maker. And I think as a quarterback in the NFL, that's probably one of the number one attributes you have to be, is you got to make great decisions with the football every single play. And I think that's what Drew's doing right now at a high level.
We didn't get a score prediction really quick. What is that?
I got 27-21 Penn State football, baby.
Let's go. It's down to a pick 'em. We're here with Jason Kabinda, former Detroit Lion fullback, but of course a former Penn State linebacker. Where can we find your stuff now with State Media and what you're doing now these days?
You can find me at State Media PSU on IG and also at Jason Kabinda on Instagram, Twitter. I did the Penn State pregame show this year for Play 5 Sports. You can find that on GoPSU TV on YouTube. And I got more to come this offseason. We'll be doing a spring show with State Media in which I'm going to be golfing with NFL athletes every single week. And we're going to get your best bits, all the things that you want to know about some of your favorite teams this year. I'm looking forward to it.
All things Penn State. Jason Kabinda's got you covered. Go check it out. Appreciate you giving us the time. Looking forward to the game today.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Jason Kabinda, of course, joining us then on Theoretically Speaking. We'll take a quick timeout and flip out and close out the program. It's Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 1063.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen, and you know what time it is. It's game time tonight. The college football playoffs continue from Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens. It's the 2025 Orange Bowl, Penn State and Notre Dame. Pre-game coverage begins at 7:30. It's game time. Tick-tock.
Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer lets you easily compare direct rates from different insurance companies, so you can be confident you're getting the right one, even if it's not with Progressive. Way more confident than you were when you tried online gaming. Who knew 12-year-old boys could be so mean? And where did they learn to swear like that? 2 hours of losing to these underage trash talkers, and you're starting to question if maybe you really should stick to pickleball and other boomer stuff. So use Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer and be confident you're getting insurance that's right for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
No two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you. All of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Keith is a be-in-the-room-with-real-people kind of learner. So he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. Vos está pronto.
Estamos prontos.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
This is the Delray Beach Open. Don't miss today's top professional tennis stars and legends in downtown Delray Beach. February 7th through 16th. It's 10 days of tennis on the Ave. 140 miles per hour races, parties, music, art, and all the good vibes. Come for the nonstop action on and off the court. Snap pics and post memories at the DBO. Join us for a jam-packed week of ATP tennis matches. More fun, more food, more drink, more parties, more of everything. DelrayBeachOpen.com for info.
Huddle up this season at Hurricane Grill and Wings, where every day is game day. We're serving up the flavors you crave, from our refreshing new cocktails to our famous wings that are always better with Pepsi. Visit hurricanewings.com to find a restaurant nearest you.
The Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group, an affiliate of the Palm Beach Health Network, is committed to delivering high-quality care to the communities they serve. Their award-winning physicians and specialists provide a level of expertise that has resulted in regional firsts and outstanding patient outcomes. For a physician referral, call 866-654-2362. To learn more about the Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group, visit pbhnphysiciangroup.com, pbhnphysiciangroup.com to get in touch with the Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group.
Kaiser University's flagship campus, the 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach, extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees in the heart of South Florida. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 20 national championships, including the 2024 Women's Swimming and Diving Championship and 2023 football, lacrosse, and men's swimming and diving titles. Visit KUSeahawks.com for the latest.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike. What's going on? Our show ended hours ago. I'm supposed to be home by now. People are expecting me. Let me out of here. Hey!
Banyan Printing, your trusted printing, mailing, and signage partner in the Palm Beaches for over 45 years. Banyan Printing's new metallic ink press adds that extra shine so that your product comes out in glossy gold, sparkling silver, or any other color you want to shine. Banyan Printing is the official printer of Kaiser Athletics and would love to be your official printing partner as well. Order products and learn more about what Banyan Printing can do for your business at banyanonline.com or call 561-586-6220.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
No Theo Dorsey, Colin Russo filling in for him alongside Christian Catt on Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 1063. We're live here from FanFest at the Capital One Orange Bowl outside Hard Rock Stadium. It is a beautiful, breezy, probably 65 degrees right now. This is perfect football weather in my book. It's not too cold, not too hot. Perfect for a big-time ball game. At 7:30 tonight, you get the Orange Bowl between Notre Dame and Penn State. We talked to Jason Kabinda, who I believe is 8th all-time in Penn State all-time tackles, the former linebacker, former Detroit Lion. And Jason was very emphatic in the big takeaway is he said Ohio State should be afraid of us. Jason, let's time out for a second. I don't think Ohio State is afraid of Penn State. But Jason was great with us there, and he's very, very sold on the fact that Penn State's going all the way.
I think that I have established a stronghold of Penn State culture in South Florida, and I am very responsible for that. This has been a Penn State propaganda show, and I don't think that's very journalistic integral of myself, but I'm not going to apologize for it either.
Right. Yeah, I mean, this is your day. We'll give you this one.
Thank you.
We'll give you this day. Mike's day is tomorrow. Mike Rizzo also joining us at FanFest on ESPN 1063. It's fascinating. Another thing that Jason said is he said that he should send Drew Aller Aller, the Penn State quarterback, to the draft if he were able to finish the job, so to speak, or continue on the forward momentum that he's had.
You know, those were heavy words, because if there's one guy, Mr. Penn State, we saw for 25 minutes, who loves the program, knows what the program can do for its players beyond their career, Jason would probably say he could stay for another year. But even he's saying Drew Aller should go to the league if he puts something good on tape this week, wins the game, and has a good national championship.
This is why the transfer portal stinks, because then Penn State gets burned, and you don't want to burn the team. Granted, coming off the national championship, you deal with it. Who cares? But their backup transfers out.
Yeah.
So now you don't have a backup who was probably slated to be a good starter for Penn State, and that's the danger of college football.
Carson Beck?
You cannot make a decision like that. That early on. People started to fill in here. I'll tell you one thing, Mike. You just walked in here. The immediate vibe, so much more Penn State comparatively to Notre Dame.
Agreed. And obviously, I've been walking around the confines, finding FanFest and parking. Ton of Penn State. And C-Cat, I told you guys would travel well. And I thought that Penn State would out-travel Notre Dame here. Now, Notre Dame, one of the most probably recognizable brands in college football. They have money. They're a rich fan base. But this is like Sika, tell me the last biggest game for Penn State outside of this one.
They've played in Rose Bowls, so just being the Rose Bowl, even if it's not a playoff game, people consider that a destination to go to, Pasadena. But I think what you have to factor in as to why we're going to see more Penn Staters than Notre Dame fans, Penn State had Boise State all the way out in Arizona. And that looked like an almost certifiable, guaranteed win. That Penn State would win that game and come to a much easier, much more usual trip down to Miami for the Orange Bowl, where Notre Dame was in New Orleans. That's also a really easy trip and a really fun trip to go to. It's expensive to go to these games.
Right.
So Penn State was looking 2 steps ahead, knowing they would have this Miami trip circled on their calendar, and they've been planning for this trip for 2 weeks, not one.
And that's probably due to the fact that they had such an advantageous build in that college football playoff format. And what, are you going to go to Dallas when it's snowing right now? That's what it seems to be at the Cotton Bowl, where it's cold and raining in Dallas, Texas. It's about 65 degrees here and sunny at Hard Rock Stadium at FanFest. You can still come enjoy the festivities. You got a ton of activations. The U.S. Army is right next to us setting up pull-up bars and deadlifts and flight simulators. So if you're looking to enlist or if you're just looking to get some pull-ups in, the U.S. Army's right next to us. We love our troops. But it's Christian Cat, Colin Russo, and Mike Rizzo on Theoretically Speaking, filling in for Theo Dorsey, who I could hear on the stage right now, doing whatever the hell the people at FanFest have him doing, introing bands or something like that.
He's going to get Marino, which means we should get Marino.
Yeah, I mean, if he gets Dan Marino, then we that would be fun. I don't know if Dan Marino would jump on with us, but it would be fun nonetheless. Now, what part of the game, what would need to happen for you to get nervous in-game? All right, what is it, a turnover? Is it Notre Dame scoring first? What is that thing early game where you're like, okay, now I'm starting to sweat a little bit?
Early game would be any injury, right? Of course, that goes without saying. If Drew Aller is coming off limping, lost a backup quarterback, that stinks. I would love to have Bo Pabrula as that safety valve, as that parachute. Now that parachute does not exist. Their quarterback has not had one snap. He had one snap, I believe, at the end of the Boise's game or not. But that is the, like you said, that's the portal kind of stinks. Another way that I would get nervous is down more than 2 possessions. I think
it's turnover. I think if
at the
one
half
turnover,
down,
this game gets you start to get tricky.
Not at all.
No. Notre Dame plays off that. They
won't run
feed
away
off
from
that.
you, though. Notre Dame will not pull away from you the way that other teams on the other side of that bracket are capable of doing.
True.
This is going to sound a little cliche, but I truly think it's at the line of scrimmage. You see the one lone game Penn State lost. It was to my Buckeyes, and it was because they lost the line of scrimmage battle.
Yeah.
Ohio State had a chance to probably punt it back to Penn State late in that game, but they were able to dominate the line of scrimmage and rush it down the field. If Notre Dame's front, offensive front, defensive front shows up and punches Penn State in the mouth, I don't know if they're going to be able to react. And then it comes down to Drew Aller, too. If Aller starts turning the ball over and looks like the Drew Aller that played against Bowling Green, I think you got to be worried. But since that Oregon game, Aller has played very well, and he's looked the part, darn near an NFL quarterback. So those are the two things I'm looking at. Is Aller going to turn the ball over and the line of scrimmage?
Well, he never has
battle?
in his whole career. Aller's been somebody who protects the football. So
almost to a fault earlier on. He
close
would
to a
not
fault.
make
He's a
the
little too
throws.
conservative,
Yeah.
and now he's starting to take more chances, which probably comes to a degree of penalty at some point. But Notre Dame is going to let you make your mistake. They did that against Georgia. They'll play you straight up. They'll live with the 3-3 ball game because they're confident that you're going to screw up before they do. Part of that goes into coaching, but if that's going to be who's going to be the first to flinch, I would probably favor in the side of Notre Dame just because they did it to Georgia. If they did it to Georgia and Georgia kind of started to collapse within themselves after a couple turnovers early game, if Penn State plays that similar type of ball game where they can't really get anything going offensively and you're starting to take more chances, I could see Franklin getting a little cute and trying to make something happen when there's nothing there and them getting burned because of it. That's just me as I'm not anti-Penn State, so I'm not anti-Penn State. All I'm saying is if there's a way for this game to get out of hand, it would be starting at the fact that Penn State might get a little too cute, maybe a little too early, trying to make something happen when nothing's there instead of just going drive for drive.
Would you guys agree these are similar teams? Defensive focus, very good up front at the line of scrimmage, and veteran quarterbacks. Aller is
different types of quarterbacks.
3-year starter, Riley
different
Leonard.
types of quarterbacks.
You also talk about culture, right?
Culture.
Just kind of historically
desperate for a big time
family independent. I think that this should be a home and home every single year.
Now, I think personally, people won't call that Boise State game a big game. It was a college football playoff quarterfinal, big game, and then Notre Dame won the big game against Georgia. So it's kind of like both teams, we got the monkey off our back. Now can we take the next step and go to a national championship?
The one thing I agreed with wholeheartedly from Jason Kabinda, if you missed this, go back on Theoretically Speaking on YouTube. You can just kind of back up about 20 minutes. You'll see what he said with Riley Leonard and his legs. That's the reason why Notre Dame was putting any points on the scoreboard, was because it seemed like the secondary of Georgia would lock down any weapon that Notre Dame had, and then Leonard would just let the pocket collapse and make what he could do with his legs, extend the plays, and get like 10, 12 yards on broken plays. If Penn State can't contain Riley Leonard, who's not especially fast, but he's creative.
And he's savvy.
Right, he's savvy. He runs with great football IQ. If Penn State can contain him, I think that this Penn State defense will have great success.
Another cliche I'm going to throw out here, too. Who's going to have the big play? I feel like both teams kind of missed that big play aspect. The big play for Notre Dame was the turnovers, the strip sack, and the fumble. But are we going to see a big play on offense? Is there going to be a big pass by Drew Aller? You mentioned Riley Leonard using his legs. Is Notre Dame even capable of having that boom run that they had against Indiana? Can they do that against a Penn State defense? So I think it's limiting the big plays on both sides of the ball, line of scrimmage, and quarterback play today.
Penn State, for me, I'm not a Penn State fan, but I could see James Franklin getting a little cute early in the game, going for it on fourth down. He did it against Boise. He did it against SMU as well, going for it early. And if you get burned because of that, that's sort of like Notre Dame chomping at the bait. And off of that, that makes me slightly nervous. Another thing I would say is, to the point, pro Penn State for a change, what did Penn State do very well against Boise State? They centered it on the run game. They said, all right, you're going to beat us with your arm, and you are going to do it now. And Madison responded in some degree in second half, but ultimately they couldn't get it done through the air. If they do somewhat of the similar nature to Notre Dame and center in on not only Jeremiah Love, but also what Riley Leonard does with his feet and says, you're going to beat us, the only way you're going to beat us is through the air, then I think that would be where Notre Dame starts to stagnate a little bit, because they probably don't have the talent on the outsides to really keep up with Penn State's very good secondary.
Yeah, to answer your question earlier on, I don't think that this Penn State team is immature enough to be taken out of the game early on an early chunk play or an early turnover or even an early coaching gaffe, if you would, if James Franklin does commit one of those. I think they are a very mentally stable and strong team. I do think if it gets ugly early, then we have a problem because I don't know if Penn State can really call back that against a good team like Notre Dame.
Colin, personally, I don't see it getting ugly early on either side. These are two top 5 defenses in the country. That's why the point that I made about the big play, who's going to make the big splash and get that first momentum swing, I think that might have a lot to do with who is the winner at the end of this game.
Franklin, to me, mentally strong team. Is he a mentally strong coach?
I don't think.
Is it fair to say, Penn State fans, is he a mentally strong
I mean, he's not.
coach?
He's yelling.
Let's call it like we see it. I mean, a mentally strong team deals with adversity. They played well in the second half against USC. Yeah. They played well, and they responded after Minnesota had them against the ropes. The team, I give them that. They responded to adversity in the regular season. But James Franklin is not something. No. Is not somebody that is going to take a punch to the mouth and start to not flinch.
Yeah, I mean,
off of that, he makes me nervous more than the team does. That's my takeaway.
To Colin's point, Christian, after the Ohio State loss, he's screaming at fans in the tunnel as he's walking into the locker room. I mean, bro, figure it out.
That's a throwback.
Figure it out.
That's a throwback to 2018 where I was next to the fan that he was screaming at in the same exact spot of the stadium. Yes.
Because after the Buckeyes went in there and walked out with a victory, and some Penn State fans were very upset, he let them know. The coach went over there and let him know.
We got some Penn State fans. We got a Northern Illinois jersey.
He's trolling. He's trolling hard right now.
Unbelievable.
My God, mate.
But the Penn State. Okay. So we got the Penn State fans traveling for this game. We got to close out the program next. We'll get somebody on. We'll see what happens. It's Theoretically Speaking. Colin Russo filling in alongside Mike Rizzo and Christian Cat on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Hi, I'm Scott Smith with Smith Ball Baez and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. As you have likely seen and heard, law firm advertising is at an all-time high. Attorney ads seem to be part of every radio and TV commercial segment. Some firms are even using paid actors and actresses to speak for them. At Smith Ball Baez and Prather, we know that the decision to hire a law firm should never be based on advertisements alone. It is our past results and many positive 5-star reviews that we encourage you to read at smithball.com to learn more about our law firm. We have board-certified lawyers. We have lawyers listed in the best lawyers in America and in super lawyers. But most importantly, we have experienced lawyers located right here in Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast that are ready to be your advocate and your voice, and fully prepared to start fighting for your legal rights today. Our purpose, legal power. Our mission, huge results. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith Ball Baez and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP, 500-HELP. With Smith Ball Baez and Prather, help is just a local phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
Theo here. EDS is yes. You've heard me say that over and over. So I need you to keep this website in mind too. EDSIsYes.com. For the most trusted AC specialist here in Palm Beach County, EDSIsYes.com. For 24/7 support, EDS is a trained comfort specialist. It's hard to stop a train. There are so many reasons why EDS is yes when it comes to your air conditioning and plumbing. EDSIsYes.com. That's EDSIsYes.com.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
Join us on Saturday, January 11th from 7 a.m. to noon for a free lithium battery collection and document shredding event in Delray Beach. Lithium batteries that are disposed of irresponsibly are a fire hazard. These items should never be put into the garbage or recycling bins. The Solid Waste Authority of Palm Beach County is providing you this opportunity to drop them off and bring up to 6 boxes of documents to be shredded on site. Do your part, and a fire won't start. Learn more at swa.org/LIB.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is Theoretically Speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
No Theo Dorsey, Colin Russo filling in for him. Theo Dorsey is playing host over at FanFest. We're at Hard Rock Stadium for Penn State, Notre Dame at the Capital One Orange Bowl. Come on down. I see a little bit more Penn State than I do Notre Dame in terms of fans traveling. Maybe this is the Penn State corner, but I'm a little wrong on that. Colin Russo joined by Christian Catt and Mike Rizzo. As always, on Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3. We are around a bunch of Penn State fans, some Notre Dame fans here as well. We'll get them involved and get some score predictions rolling in just a moment really quickly. But it seems like nobody wants to see Ohio State in the next round. So that's number one.
I think it's fair to say.
I think it's fair to say, indeed. So let's get the mic. We have a mic here. Let's get a couple people on to join us, and we'll have some fun with some score predictions for the Orange Bowl.
I want your name, your city of origin, where you're coming from, and your score prediction. And I want it now. Who we got first?
My name's Justin from Canton, Ohio, so made the trip
Oh, my
down.
gosh. And you're wearing that garbage?
Listen, I love the Buckeyes.
And you're wearing that garbage?
Die hard Notre Dame.
Oh,
Listen,
God, I
it's gonna
can't take
it's gonna
that
be
serious.
Take the under. Notre Dame's gonna win this one. It's gonna be 17-13.
17-13, and that's a Notre Dame fan saying that, so in favor of Notre Dame, I assume, correct? I would be surprised if you took Penn State in this one, but he says take the under. Who do we have here?
Chuck from Manitou Springs, Colorado.
Wow,
Okay,
what a
that'll
travel
be
for
Chuck.
this. You go to the nice weather, all right?
Yeah.
What's your score prediction? You wear the Notre Dame, so what do we got here?
Notre Dame 17-14.
Oh, wow, so we got another low-scoring aspect now. All right, so let's shift. All right, so
And he's
another
gambling
under.
the under.
Another under. 2 Notre Dame so far. We got a Penn State fan joining us now. Who do we have here?
I'm going to go Chad, New Wilmington, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Penn State 28, Notre Dame 24.
28-24, Chad. Now, how far is that from State College? Let me ask you that.
About 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours. And you made the trip down here for this game specifically.
I actually live in Canton, Ohio now.
Oh,
But
what's with Canton, Ohio?
What is going on?
Is there a non-stop from
Trust
Canton?
me, I don't-
man.
Hey, if it weren't for work, I wouldn't stay in Canton, Ohio. I promise you that.
All right, so we got a Northern Illinois jersey here. Who do we have here? What's your name?
My name is Phil. I
boy,
go to
Phil.
Penn State.
Yeah.
From Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania.
All right, so Phil goes to Penn State, and why do you have that jersey?
I'm just here to troll. It's funny.
So you bought that jersey to troll?
NCAA 14, I was a coach for NIU, and I decided to buy the jersey.
So you've had this?
I had it.
This
before
was
the
buried
game.
in the closet, and then for the biggest game in Penn State's in 20 years, you had that in your closet in this lone loss to
did.
Notre Dame. All right, so what's your score prediction for today? What's going to happen?
13-10 Penn State.
13-10 Penn State. Wow, not a lot of offense we're getting so far. All right, let's shift onwards. Who do we have here? What's your name, boss?
I'm Nick. I'm also from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, and I have Penn State 20-14.
20-14, Penn State. All right, let's continue onward here. Who do we have? What do we got?
This is Phil from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania.
All right, we got the Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania crowd here. What do we
My
got?
pick is Penn State 31, Notre Dame 21.
All right, so a double-digit victory from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. I like that. Who do we have here? What's your name?
My name is Kai from Western Orlando, and I have Penn State winning this one 20-21.
Okay. 20-21. Wow. Okay. Interesting. So we got low scoring for the most part. I think everybody's on the same page.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a delusional fan with us together. Oh, we got a delusional fan? What's your score prediction right here? Well, first of all, what's your name? Where are you from? And then tell us what's going to happen.
I'm Aiden. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. And my score prediction is 42-14 Notre Dame.
42-14 Notre Dame for Jackson from Jacksonville.
James Franklin might be looking for a new job if
Oh,
he
my
loses by
goodness.
28 points.
42-14.
Touchdown
Hey,
loss.
we haven't had a close game all playoff. Can we root for something close for a change?
That's what a Notre Dame education gets you, a prediction like that.
Yeah.
Sorry, what can I say?
Well, especially Notre Dame fans from Canton, Ohio. I mean, figure it out.
Oh, my goodness.
You're lost, brother.
Unbelievable. All right, so let's go around the table here. We just
Yeah.
got some Penn State and Notre Dame fans. We just surveyed the crowd to a degree. We'll start with Mike Rizzo on Theoretically Speaking. Mike Rizzo, your prediction for today's game.
I'll make this quick being a Buckeye. I mean, I want to see all Big Ten. I think it's going to be Penn State 23-17 over Notre Dame. I am not sold on Notre Dame, as you guys know. I haven't been sold on them all year. Give me the Nittany Lions, all Big Ten national championship coming your way.
All right, so you like the all Big Ten national championship. I'm a Wisconsin guy, so let's get this out of the way.
And
So
he
I have
hates
no
them, though,
allegiance-
but he hates them.
Well, Wisconsin stinks. Wisconsin stinks, so let's call it like we see it. All right, I have a couple things I have to make clear. My sister went to Notre Dame. I hate Notre Dame more than anything.
All of us do. I mean, everyone hates Notre Dame. I mean, honestly,
That bias aside, I think Notre Dame's going to win today. I do. And I hate to rain on the parade. I think Notre Dame's going to win today. I think Penn State, I alluded to it earlier, I think James Franklin's going to get cute at a certain point, and I think we're going to see Penn State make the mistake, the crucial mistake, before Notre Dame does. I trust Marcus Freeman to stay level-headed. I don't know if I trust James Franklin to stay level-headed in an environment like that. I will make my score prediction. I also think low scoring, 20-14 Notre Dame. That will be my score for you.
Can I defend?
No.
Hang on. This is the same Marcus Freeman who didn't have enough players on the field against Ohio State last year.
Same guy who outcoached Kirby Smart 10 days ago. So off
their
of that,
quarterback.
Outcoached. That's all I said, and I think that's fair. James Franklin's going to be arguing with a fan at halftime, and he's going to be going in saying Notre Dame should not be a conference, talking to whoever's doing the halftime. Whoever is sideline reporting at halftime, James Franklin's going to come in about the NIL, and he's going to start talking about Notre Dame being in a conference, and he's going to start talking about them selling tickets to SMU, and it's going to be a bunch of garbage that I cannot listen to. So off that, we finish off. We have our Penn State alum with us, Christian Cat. Christian Cat, your prediction and reaction, what do you got?
Thank you.
Take the floor, brother.
2012 was a team that stayed. 2016 was a team that brought this program back to national relevance.
Really?
2024 is the team that goes to the national championship, and the 2024 Penn State Nittany Lions are going to beat Notre Dame 21-13. We are.
Penn State!
We are.
Penn State!
We are.
Penn State!
Thank you.
You're welcome!
They do a thank you,
That's
you're
a
welcome
thing?
at the end of that.
That's a
I didn't
thing?
realize that thank you, you're welcome was part of it.
You're welcome.
I was like, these guys are very nice.
They have so much to learn.
I didn't realize that was a thing.
Oh, my God.
I didn't realize
brother.
that was a thing. I didn't realize that was a thing. I didn't know. Maybe I'm not.
We're in enemy territory.
I didn't
over here,
realize that
brother.
was
My
a Penn
God.
State. That was a thing. But it's theoretically speaking. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, and Christian Cat. We got the Capital One Orange Bowl kicking off tonight at 7:30. The first of the two semifinal games in the college football playoff. Winner of the Ohio State-Texas game tomorrow will play the winner of tonight's game between Notre Dame and Penn State. It seems to be fairly split, maybe leaning on the side of Penn State. We got a couple Notre Dame fans who think that Notre Dame's going to win, and we got a couple Penn State fans who thinks Penn State's going to win. Surprise, surprise there. But we'll see what happens today. It should be a good one. Mike Rizzo and I will take over programming for the next 2 hours as well, from 4 to 6 on Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 1063. All right, let me see this. What's going to be the key to the game? What's that key play to the game? You're going to make a prediction. What's going to happen in today's game that will make that big difference? Give me that.
That will make Penn State win 21-13?
Yes. There's got to be a play. One play. Defensively, offensively, what is it?
The two defensive ends for Penn State, Carter and Sutton, just getting in the head of Riley Leonard early and often. You hit him in the first quarter, he remembers that in the second, third, and fourth quarter, and he will think twice before sitting in the pocket. He's going to get a helmet to the chin, and he will not be comfortable the rest of the game.
All right, so you want them to hit him early and often, and then make him uncomfortable the rest of the game.
Of course.
All right, I think this is going to be a turnover, and that the turnover will be the decision. If for everybody's on the same page that this is not going to be an offensive ball game, what's going to be the difference making? Field position, making sure you punt properly, special teams. All of that will be the difference in today's game. And what did Georgia not do well? All of the above. They did not hold on to the ball. They did not handle the field position properly, and Marcus Freeman did not falter, and he was able to take advantage of that. So off of that, I would say whoever wins that turnover battle is obviously going to take this one, because points are going to be hard to come by, few and far between. So we'll see what happens then. But big thanks, Christian. You got any final thoughts here before we close out the show?
What will be the story of the game, the victor or the loser in this one? Semifinal, off the
loser.
Yep.
The loser. It will be,
so?
because I think it will be a bad decision that will lead to them throwing this game away. That's how I think this is going to happen. When this is 10-10 going into halftime, 13-10 coming out of the fourth quarter, and you go for it on 4th and 3, go for it on 4th and 3 on your own 40, trying to close out the game, and it doesn't work, and you hand the game off in that sense, I think that will be the storyline coming out.
But these guys are two historical programs that, whether they love them or they despise them to a core, they care about them. And one of these two programs is going to be back on the biggest stage possible in a national championship game. I honestly think in this game in particular, maybe it changes for the other semifinal game with Texas and OSU. In this game, I think it's about the victor.
You think it's going to be a celebration or like a downpour on that? Because these are two programs that haven't won the big one. Right. They haven't been able to win the big one for the upward part of the historic programs for 20 years. So off of that, 30 years if you want to push it. So off of that, I think this will be more of, oh my God, we still can't get it done. We still can't get it done. Now, Notre Dame has a different perspective because they beat Georgia.
Yeah.
Now, Penn State, I think if Penn State loses today's game after taking down SMU at home and then Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl in Arizona.
Same old, right?
This is going to be Penn State loves punching below their weight class, and they cannot punch above their weight class.
It'll be ugly if Penn State does not win this game, let alone if they get beat convincingly. Because you want to talk about the word Mickey Mouse.
It's my word.
How the rest of this Penn State season looks like if Penn State loses by 2 scores. It's like, well, yeah, they're in the semifinal. They didn't play anybody. So that is a lot to risk.
Right.
Closing out the program here at FanFest at the Capital One Orange Bowl outside Hard Rock Stadium. 7:30 kickoff between Penn State and Notre Dame. You got your score predictions. We got Mike and I coming up the next 2 hours here over at FanFest. Come say hello. Come give your score predictions to us. Big thanks to Christian Cat for holding down the fort as Theo Dorsey is hosting FanFest. We close out the program. It's been Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Good job, guys. Thank you.
Is racking up tens of thousands of dollars in student loan debt really worth the 4-year degree? Not a lot of people think so anymore. A recent Wall Street Journal poll found that 56% of us believe that a skills-based education, that's a smarter investment than a 4-year degree. So why waste that time and money when there's an alternative right here in North Palm Beach